Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Detroit Homecoming co-directors Mary Kramer and Jim Hayes.
Good evening. First and foremost, an enormously warm word of welcome to everybody here. It's marvelous to see you all here, and welcome back, and congratulations for joining us for this great event. This is the second year that we have reached across the nation to Detroit's remarkable expat community, invited you back here to reconnect with your city, to learn more about your city, to see the progress, to see the energy, and hopefully, by the time you leave, to further inspire you to take some really constructive action in support of Detroit's future. We welcome back 49 expats from last year. Thank you for coming back, and thank you for your continued support of your hometown. We also welcome 126 new expats this year. Thank you very much for carving out a time of your schedule. Welcome back, and have a splendid time reconnecting, learning, and becoming a part of this great play. Thanks also to Governor Snyder and Mayor Duggan. Your involvement, your continued involvement here underscores the importance of everything that's going on here and reinforces the valued role that all these expats can play in writing the great story of this wonderful city. In the video you just saw, you saw several success stories about things that happened as a result of last year's homecoming. Tomorrow you'll hear 6 or 7 more stories about other expats and things that they're doing. When all is said and done, this is all about results, action, and we're just delighted to be here to hopefully inspire you to action. Mary.
Welcome to the Detroit Opera House. Now, all of you can say you played a date on the largest stage in the state of Michigan. So we thank you, we want to thank our supporters. This is happening because of the commitments of business leaders and foundation leaders, all of whom will be listed in your programs. All of the attendees have the programs in your bags tonight. Please take some time to read about the supporters because they are listed not just by name, but by their commitments to the city. I also want to thank the Crane family. A special thanks to the Crane family. Crane's Detroit Business is the convener and the producer of this event with many, many team players, but we would never be able to do this without the support of the Crane family. And tonight we have Casey Crane, Executive VP, his wife Ashley, and his mother Mary Kay Crane. Thank you so much. Now, we are in the Opera House, and I want to note that the mezzo-soprano who sang tonight is Ray Ann Bryce Davis, and she is from Texas, but moved to Detroit to be part of the resident company here at the Michigan Opera Theater. And she was accompanied by Gordon Shermer, so please, a round of applause for them. Now, David DiChiara is here tonight, and David is the artistic director of the Michigan Opera Theater, but he's really the guy who put this building together. And I do remember having moved to Detroit in 1989, maybe it was 1990, 91, David, that you made people pay $5 to get in this place. And the rain was coming through the roof, and it was mildewed, but you had cleaned it up, And then you did one little piece of plaster over here to show what could be. And that is, I think, an analogy for tonight. This homecoming is a chance for all of you, even the locals, who have an emotional connection to Detroit, to come back for 2.5-day immersion, see the current reality, and the inspiring vision that we're going to show you, like the plaster that's been redone. Now, I'm not sure David would like to be compared to P.T. Barnum, but we do have kind of a mix of opera and circus tonight, thanks to the Detroit Circus Company that you saw in the lobby. Jim?
Woven throughout the program for the next couple of days, you'll see the world of sport popping up, and that was done very thoughtfully and very intentionally. Sport has played such an incredibly important part in this city's history. It is obviously the cohesive element that makes this community part of the community that it is. It's been called the greatest sports town in America, and I think that's probably right on. There's only one discordant note on this whole thing. Recently, and this is in deference to our very distinguished guest from ESPN, but ESPN regrettably said within the last week that Detroit's team uniforms ranked 8th in the country. I would seriously contest that. But sport will be a very important part of the program, and you'll be meeting some of the people who are sharing our dinner with us tonight. Now, in order to officially get this program underway, I'd like to welcome and introduce to you a member of this evening's of our host committee. He will introduce the governor. He is a member of the host committee, and he's president of Meridian Health Plans. Please welcome John Cotton. John.
Good evening. Again, I'm John Cotton. I'm president of Meridian Health Plan. In a minute, our governor's going to come up and give a few words. But I did want to give a brief story about how this governor has helped me personally in my business. Meridian Health Plan, 10 years ago, we moved downtown Detroit, and we were a $250 million company, and we had about 117 employees. 1 year after we moved downtown, a business tax was enacted that was known as the Michigan business tax. For those of you folks in the room who live here, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It was an abysmal tax, total job killer. Because we are an insurance company, our effective tax rate under this plan was 65%. And at the time, we operated in Michigan and Illinois. And we literally had to make a decision, do we relocate our headquarters to Illinois? This is totally unsustainable. 65% is, we're going to drown. Governor Snyder got elected, and I believe it was a year or less than a year later, he made good on his promise. He looked us in the eye and he said, this is the first thing I'm going to tackle. Michigan, I'm going to right this ship. This is going to be an incredibly business-friendly environment. And my family got together and we said, I think we need to trust this guy and see what happens. And we did. And this year, we will do $3 billion in revenue and 1,500 jobs, 100% located in downtown Detroit. And my story is just one of many. And for those of you who live in Michigan, you know that he's almost insane in the amount of ideas that he comes up with that are phenomenal. All excellent, common sense ideas. As a matter of fact, he was on a plane overseas a couple of years ago, and I was speaking with his staff members. I said, boy, you guys must have a nice break. And they said, not really. He's going to be on a plane for 18 hours with just him and his thoughts. And he's going to come back, and it's going to be a total firestorm. But he's been just integral in my business. And he's been phenomenal to work with. He's since we've stayed in Detroit. We're now moved from 2 states to 6, and we see a very positive environment here. We have a very young workforce. We have 800 jobs openings right now. It's just because of the environment that this governor has created. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to my friend and my partner, Governor Rick Snyder.
Thanks, John. Well, thank you, John. That was wonderful. And it's great to be with you tonight. I was here last year, and it's wonderful to see this homecoming take place. So I'd like to start by, let's give a big shout out again to Jim and Mary and all the Cranes team for this wonderful event.